Hey everyone, fellow barbecue enthusiast Chris here, and today I'm going to be reviewing the Louisiana 800 Elite Pellet Grill. Now right off the bat, this is one of the most versatile smokers and cookers I've ever used, giving the user the flexibility to be able to do low and slow cooking and smoking, all the way up to high heat searing for steaks and burgers. I absolutely love smoked food, but when it comes to tending and handling a charcoal or wood burning fire, it can really be challenging to maintain a consistent temperature and turn out great food. I would say the most common scenario is when you have a barbecue lover who's looking at getting into smoking, and so they go to their local hardware store and they pick out their favorite smoker, they bring it home all excited to infuse their meat and cooks with smoke, and they build it, and after a couple of cooks they find that the heat was too erratic and inconsistent and the food wasn't great, or at least it wasn't as good as they thought it would be. So they put the smoker in the garage and it never gets used again, and possibly even sold at their next garage sale. The thing that's great about the 800 Elite here is that it's essentially a set it and forget it type smoker. Gone are the days of having to worry about tending to that wood burning or charcoal burning fire, and your temperature spikes and your temperature drops and just becomes a real nightmare sometimes for those people who are inexperienced. Where this is perfect for you. All you have to do is load the pellet hopper, turn your unit on, set the desired cooking temperature, hook up the meat probe, set the desired internal meat cooking temperature, and once the meat reaches that temperature, the smoker is actually going to drop down to its lowest setting of 180 degrees and maintain kind of like a warming environment, so that way your meat doesn't overcook. The great thing about the meat thermometer is it's dead accurate, which is very rare in terms of like included meat probes and things that you get with traditional smokers. Normally those thermometers are way off in terms of their accuracy. I've compared this meat probe to a Thermapen and it is dead on. I mean, maybe off by a degree, at most two. I mean, it is very accurate. The only thing you have to worry about during the cook is making sure that you have pellets in the hopper. Check it every 3 to 4 hours if you're doing low and slow, or if you're doing high heat, then it requires a lot more pellets, obviously, because you're going for those higher temperatures. And in terms of heat retention, this thing does an amazing job of retaining the heat. It's built out of stainless steel, and it really keeps that temperature consistent throughout your entire cook. I had the smoker shipped to me since I didn't have any local distributors that I could go pick it up from. It came shipped on a pallet since it's heavy and it's stainless steel, so keep that in mind. The build process didn't take too terribly long, only about an hour and a half, and you are going to want to make sure that you have a buddy or a friend to help with some of the heavier lifting parts of the build, because you do have to lift the main chamber onto the legs, and so that can be challenging. Personally, I don't recommend that. So make sure you have a buddy to help you out, and once it was built, I was ready to season up the grill and ready for my first cook. Now, I've smoked a wide range of foods already, everything from pork shoulder, burgers, and steaks, to peach cobbler, brie, and corn on the cob. What's great is that using the hardwood pellets to fuel the fire, it infuses a great smoking flavor to any meat that you cook, whether it be low and slow or even high heat searing for steaks. Now, smoking is all about low and slow temperatures, but when you want to do a high heat sear, or you want to get grill marks, or you just want to cook hot and fast, that's doable and easy. All you got to do is slide over the plate, turn up your temperature to like 600 degrees, and boom, you're rocking. Now, I've used the reverse searing method to cook steaks, where you start it off low and slow, then you turn up the heat, slide over the cooking plate, and you sear the steaks to really sear in those juices, and oh my gosh, it was some of the best steak that I've ever had. It was as good, if not better, than some of the best steakhouses out there. Cleanup is a breeze. Most of the parts inside are dishwasher safe, and even if you want to just lay heavy duty aluminum foil along the bottom pan, so that way all the meat drippings and everything just go right on the aluminum foil, you just wrap that up and throw it in the trash can. It makes for even easier cleanup. Now, you will want to keep an eye on the interior pit, is what I call it, because you will get a little bit of wood buildup in there, so you want to clean it out every few cooks. You could even just take a shop vac or anything like that as well to clean up all kind of like the interior bottom chamber. But again, it just is so easy because there's really not a lot to do in terms of the cleanup, which just makes cooking more fun. So something to keep in mind is that this cooker requires both electricity and pellets. So if you're in a power blackout and you have no power, then you obviously won't be able to power the unit. And then if you run out of pellets, well, I guess that's like running out of charcoal or propane. You won't be able to cook. So make sure you're always stocked up on pellets. And in terms of how many pellets it's going to go through in a given time frame at a given temperature, if you're at, let's say, 250 to 275 or so, and you fill up the 12-pound hopper, it's going to take quite a while for it it to go through all those pellets. I would say 5 to 7 hours or so. Now, if you're doing the high searing temperatures of like 600 degrees, then it's gonna go through an entire 12-pound hopper in about an hour or so, give or take. Again, because the auger is constantly feeding the fire to keep that temperature nice and hot and consistent.
Grill marks right there.
So in terms of cost of the pellet bags, it's about 35 bucks for a 40-pound bag or so. So it's a little bit more expensive than charcoal, but it's all natural and it's a much cleaner way of cooking. Overall, I'm really happy with the smoker. It's really a versatile cooker, and you don't have to pay attention to the smoking process every minute. You get to spend the time with the family and friends, and isn't that what barbecuing and smoking is all about? Happy smoking.